YouTube! What the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here. Back on Total War Warhammer. Waldenhof? Weren't we just here? It seems like on a replay. I think we were. So I was making fun of it, and then someone made fun of the way that I said it. So let's check out the battle. I'm going to be playing Wood Elves up against Bretonnia. I've got Durthu, some of his tree kin here in the center. And then I've got mixed in here, I've got 3 Eternal Guard, just the standard variety, because I'm not looking for armor piercing against Bretonnia. And then I've got some Eternal Guard with shields. I've got 4 of those in total. Durthu just has Flock of Doom. And I'm rocking a Lore of Shadows Spell Singer back here, sitting here side saddle. Looks like she hasn't been in the sun in a few years. Maybe that's the result of living in the forest canopy, I don't know. Then, of course, I've got a couple of reindeer cavalry with shields back here. The shields to help protect from Bretonian archers, which were no doubt going to be present. Having a missile block chance is always a good thing. So, and these guys are multiple reasons here. Flying goon squads to keep them off my archers, off my mage, all that kind of stuff. Because Bretonnia tends to like their flying goon squad, and sure enough, Louen with his standard 2 paladins, it's almost like they come 1 for 1. But nice enough, not a peasant spam. We've got some Bretonian knights here with Knights of the Realm, very cool looking. And then he's going to have 3 pole arms on his right, 4 spears with, well, just spearmen at arms. They have shields. And then he's got 5 archers and a damsel. And the damsel is on foot back here with the archers. So I'm going to go ahead and use my superior range to open fire. I'm then going to fall back a little because I don't want to die to his 5 archers. I shouldn't have even taken that volley. I had been watching to see if they were in range, and I kind of missed it on that end. I was watching the other flank. I'm going to go ahead and charge forward. I want to engage his infantry that I feel like I can easily defeat in the center, especially after I weakened up this pole arm unit so significantly. You see, you didn't need the armor piercing versus these guys. They don't really have any armor. And then I don't waste my arrows on units with shields. So that's the key here. Don't waste the arrows on units with shields where you have the opportunity. So my Glade Guard here brought specifically to kill peasant archers. And that's what I'm going to do with them. So I back up to where his peasant archers struggle to get the range they need on me. I keep Durthu back because I know his goon squad's going to want to come down here eventually. And then I've got my 2 reindeer cavalry ready to answer his Knights of the Realm. And then my Lore of Shadows, got some tricks up my sleeve. Penumbral Pendulum and the Pit of Shades. Durthu just kind of taunts Louen a little bit there to go ahead and come on down. The problem, Durthu could do really well in the fight against these guys if he didn't get charged, but he is going to get charged, and he's going to get charged badly. You can see 3 charges in a row. Mine always miss. He landed both of those, and it was brutal. I go ahead and engage his cavalry out here, and I'm going to use my Lore of Shadows, and I'm going to pop a Pit of Shades and wreck these cavalry here. Should be able to do some pretty solid damage here. Indeed I do. It's not like world ending, but it definitely takes off a significant chunk of health here from these Knights of the Realm, which I need to defeat soundly in order to have enough reindeer cavalry left. Durthu is dying because he's 3-on-1, but he does an extensive amount of damage to Louen. I wasn't firing into this fight right here, at least it shows that I am, but my guys don't fire because they don't have line of sight. If they had started firing, I was going to stop. I didn't want to shoot Durthu to death. He was dying fast enough as it was. Right before he died, though, I got off a Flock of Doom on these peasant bows to cause some extra damage. One of my tree kin's broken through, and I'm using it to go after his bows. And now, as Louen breaks loose, I'm going to target him with my archers. They are not armor-piercing, but Louen doesn't have a shield. So he's going to eat most of these arrows, and it's going to cause him to rout. He comes after my spellcaster, but she's pretty quick. And just a single unit here on the horse, she doesn't really get knocked over, so I'm going to run away before the others can come in and kill me really quick. So I'm going to use her speed and the flying mechanics against him. Here I've got one of his guys bogged down. Again, this is where reindeer cavalry come in handy. You can use them to bog down heavier units and keep them from just pushing around all over you. Louen routes, so this is good news for me. I'm going to double back up on this paladin, and then look here, I lead the other paladin into my unit that has the mass, and you can see the paladin on the Pegasus does not have the mass to push through a cavalry unit, so my spellcaster gets out safe, and my cavalry now can fight these guys, and the paladins are not going to do well versus the cavalry. Meanwhile, my tree kin, which are, they're not like super fast, but they're fast enough they can catch these archers, and they're very well armored. They don't take much damage from bows. So that's one reason why I included a front line of treekin here, is because I knew that Bretonnia would want to rely on those bows. And with Bretonnia bringing 5 units of archers to my 3 are being very cost efficient right now. His Knights of the Realm came back from routing and charged me. Their shields helped them a lot. They're going to actually make it into combat here. They won't live terribly long, though. You can see the Paladins over here again. Didn't like being matched up against the cavalry. They just don't have the weight to pull a fight like this out because they don't have a bonus versus large. They're better versus massed infantry. And in that case, not even really heavy infantry, to be honest. I like them best for ganging up on lords. That's really the best place for him. Now, Leon Kerr has come back. He is healing, and I don't want to let that happen. He's kind enough to come back within bow range. So my bowmen, newly freed from the Knights of the Realm, are going to turn around and open fire on Leon Kerr, and we should be able to quickly reroute him. While my treekin continue to run down archers. You can see archers all over the battlefield being forced back because of my treekin. His pole arms win the fight against my Eternal Guard. No big surprise. I think I charged him, which makes sense. But my treekin are going to pretty easily put down the pole arms. The pole arms do better versus treekin because of their armor piercing. But it's the physical resistance in the treekin that makes them pretty resilient, where some monsters might get shoot up pretty quickly by pole arms. I have plenty of winds of magic. I'm just kind of saving it. I didn't end up needing the penumbral pendulum because I didn't really get like a straight line fight set up where it would have worked well. So I used the Pit of Shades instead. And I have another use of the Pit of Shades. I'm hoping to use it on these remaining infantry to get rid of them, so I'm waiting for the proper blob. But I don't want to kill my own elves with it either. So, open fire here, pushing back the peasant bows. They're not going to be any match for the Glade Guard. The Glade Guard has superior range, and they can also fire while repositioning forward, so it gives me a pretty nice advantage. Leon Kerr is wanting to come back again. He's replenished more health this time, but I also have some pretty long-range, wide-open shots at him, and he's going to lose most of that health that he just replenished. Again, the Starfire Shafts would do good here, but that's 100 extra cost per archer, which would have prevented me from having some of the extra units that I had on the battlefield, which in my opinion came in pretty handy. Here's one last Pit of Shades. We're going to wrap up a bunch of Bretonnian peasants in this nice little ball of Christmas candy, as it were. Hand-tossed for your enjoyment. Actually magic-tossed, I guess. Hope you all enjoyed that one. I was able to get the better of my opponent, Kenny D. It's a good thing it wasn't Kenny G, or else he would have killed me with some silky smooth new age jazz tunes. But in any case, we managed to survive. So yeah, Durthu got destroyed here. I mean, there's no way around that. He got wrecked. But it was the, I think the clutch performance from the Wild Riders, putting down the Knights of the Realm, putting down the Paladins. Again, quite clutch for there. Look at that, 2 chevrons with only that many kills. And then this one picked up a chevron. So the treekin obviously knew these guys would do well in a front line, and they did. And then I picked up 52 kills on the Spellsinger, Lore of Shadows, which is not bad, actually, for a caster to pick up 52 kills, especially when they're in a kind of a clutch situation like helping. I took down quite a bit of health on those Knights of the Realm. I doubt I got many kills on them. Those 52 kills I probably racked up at the very end from balling up those last few infantry units and then shutting them down. Now the Eternal Guard, also very important here, all of them picking up chevrons. So again, pretty nice performance from them as well. I like Eternal Guard with shields. They seem to put up a pretty worthwhile fight, even when they're losing. They seem to hang in there for a little while. Maybe the extra melee defense you get with having their shield becomes pretty worth it. At least I kind of feel like it does. What do you guys think about the Bretonnia matchup with the Wood Elves? Curious to see how you play it out. Now, of course, that time I was Arguelon or whatever. Wood Elves, you would have had the opportunity to bring Orion. I don't know that Orion would have been any better, per se, than Durthu, because Durthu has all those resistances. The problem is you really can't bring much to help Durthu bully on that flying goon squad, other than maybe like a forest dragon, but then you don't want him to get caught up in the air either. So, I mean, that's kind of the problem. I didn't want to fight Bretonnia in the air, because my goon squad would cost considerably more, and I'm not sure that it would win. So I didn't want to fight them in the air, so I definitely wanted that fight on the ground. You know what may have been smart if I had the funds, or maybe rearranged a few things? Could you get some, so like Wildwood Rangers? These guys are anti-large. War Dancers with the Azrai Spear are anti-large and pretty effective. So, I mean, these kind of units could definitely have helped out Durthu if you were able to get him surrounded with them. I mean, I think that would certainly help. But obviously when Durthu gets hit with those charges, he's kind of a big target. He's not real hard to miss. Though I have wondered, what would it be like charging into a giant tree on your monster? Would it be really easy to stay mounted after something like that? I don't know. You tell me. Anyway, like I said, what do you all like in the matchup between Bretonnia and Wood Elves? Wood Elves obviously have the range superiority. Bretonnia has artillery. I don't know if it does them a lot of good. It's not all that useful. Bretonnia definitely has, I don't know if I'd say better cavalry. I mean, I remember when this first came out, everybody's like, Wild Riders are horrible. They're really not. They've got Frenzy, and they're actually a pretty solid unit. Yeah, they're pretty low armor for a cavalry unit, and they're not particularly like anti-large, but they have some pretty solid weapon strength, a pretty viable charge bonus, and you get a lot of bang for your buck out of these guys, I think, because of the Frenzy, plus you get Vanguard. So, I don't know. I think Wild Riders are pretty decent, to be honest. They're pretty expensive. I think Bretonnia could try and outnumber you with the Knights of the Realm, and they're cheaper infantry, and that might be where they gain an advantage. That with their flying squad, which I believe would be superior to anything that the Elves could throw at them. Anyway, curious to see your thoughts. HeirofCarthage signing off for now. I'll see you all soon.